back home, if you try it, um, there's going to be a dent in the middle of your head because you go collect. Take care of your parents. You're American, you're African, wherever you're from, take care of your parents. Why would I render a service to you and you won't tip me? You must tip me. Rice is not all that. In fact, I think beans is even more popular than rice. Hello friends, this is James of the James TV. Thank you for stopping by and you're welcome. How are you guys doing? How's life? How's family? How's everything? How's work? How's your health? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing okay, in case you're asking. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some unpopular opinions about the United States of America, right? The US of A, right? Vis-a-vis my African heritage. I'm Nigerian, I'm Ghanaian. I know some people will be pulling out their hair now. Why is she saying she's Ghanaian? When did she become Ghanaian? Okay, rest, relax. It's not that deep. Yeah, so I'll be speaking about it vis-a-vis my African culture, my African heritage, where I come from, and what is applicable back home, right? A few disclaimers. Some of these things are a bit controversial, some of them are debatable, while some of them are in plain sight. So, do not hold my chest and say, why did you say that? It's an opinion, okay? Just relax. Share your opinion in the comment section. Let me know what you think as well in the comment section. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me. Just put everything in the comment section, right? Number one, the tipping culture in the USA. It's almost as if tipping is compulsory. It's almost as if you can't get a service without tipping the service providers, if you get what I mean. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to get waffles and I go into the bakery, for instance, and I'm asked to put in my card, and I put in my card and everything and all of that. So oftentimes, well, it depends on where you're going to. You see, oh, tip, then they'll give you all the percentages of tip you can choose. But there's also the option of none, right? So you can choose not to give, but you see all the options of different percentages you should pay for tip. Tipping is not a problem, right? Back home, I mean, we tip. If someone does something for you, you tip. In fact, sometimes some people harass you, you just tip them. Some you tip, they've done you well, you tip your gate man, you tip, just tip people here and there, your driver, you tip people who have done services for you, just people generally you tip, but you are not under compulsion. Never ever have I seen in Ghana or Nigeria where I'm trying to pay with my card and they're telling me, oh, this is the option of the tip to give. Never ever. Usually you just maybe put it in their tip basket or whatever, tip cup or tip container, or just squeeze the money into their hands just to say thank you. But here it's almost as if you don't tip, it's a problem. In fact, there was this debate I saw on the internet. I think it started from TikTok, where people were of the opinion that why would I render a service to you and you won't tip me? You must tip me. You must give me, is it 15% of whatever you pay for? Even people with terrible services, they will still ask you that you must tip because I offered you a service. To be quite frank, I've never had any issue with, oh, you must tip. No, no, no. It's just out of, okay, they've done well for you. You go and eat in a restaurant. So you just slip the money underneath maybe the tray or the plate. The person who attended to you will know. They always know. Or maybe you could use your card, depending on what you want to do. But I think that if you want to be tipped, you should give good services. I'm talking for Americans. Well, people back home, you should we should learn as well. But you can't expect a tip when you haven't done anything exceptional, when you haven't impressed me. It's not compulsory. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Give people, help people, encourage. I mean, it's a form of encouragement. Don't get me wrong. I agree with that. You encourage people, but is this sense of entitlement? I think it just boils down to sense of entitlement. It's like you're entitled. I did a service for you, so I must get a tip. Where's that done? Haven't they paid you? It was a whole debate on TikTok, but okay. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But tipping culture here, it's as if sometimes it can get out of hand. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm sure many of us may know this, especially for those of us who don't live here in the US, but I'm sure you've heard of it. You know about this. So recently, I saw on the internet where people were sharing their experiences about getting kicked out of the house at 16, or when they clocked 16, their parents were like, "You're grown now, get out of the house, go and get your own apartment." In fact, some were even saying they started prepping them from when they were teenagers, like, when you're 18 you have to leave my house, and all of that. One lady was even saying she's African. She was saying that when she was dating her now husband, who is American, he was, a bit shy, or is he nervous to tell her that, "Oh, I still live with my parents," so that, of course, when they get married, it's not like they were going to live with his parents or anything. But he was just telling her that, "I'm not on my own yet. I'm not living on my own." And she's like, "How is that even up for discussion? It's not a problem. It's not up for debate. It's not an issue. It's normal." Let me get right into it. So, over here, it's a norm. I would say it's a norm. I would believe it's a norm that when you get to a certain age, you have to leave your parents' house. So for some, you in your brain, you just feel, "Oh, I need to leave." For some, they kick you out, right? They tell you to start paying your own bills and all of that. And this topic, it's some way though. I'm saying so because, I mean, at a certain age, you're supposed to be out of your parents' house. Maybe when you're in your 30s or so. For it's a bit tricky. For the women, I mean, you can stay till you get married and leave. For the men, I believe you can also stay. Then maybe when you're about to start your family, you leave. Because I know people who stayed with their guardians, their parents, till they were about to get married. Then they saved up, of course. They were working and they went to get their own apartment and they moved out of their parents' house. For us back home, it is the norm to stay in your parents' house till you have to leave. Nobody's kicking you out. Let me know in the comment section. Nobody's kicking you out. Nobody's putting you under pressure. You must leave. No, no, no. At 16, excuse me, you are still eating your father's food. You ain't paying no bills. At 16, you're in school. Back home, it's not like here where you can be schooling and working. You can choose not to work back home. Maybe you can have your businesses here and there if you want to, but it's not, nobody's going to look down on you because you went through school, you didn't work, your parents paid your fees, took care of you. It's normal. It's the norm. Your parents will take care of you till you can take care of yourself. So let's say you enter the university at 16, 17, 18, 19. At 19, 20, you're done. And you start working. You still be in your father's house. You still be in your mother's house eating their food. So maybe at 23, 24, 25, somebody comes and says he wants to get married to you. That's when you will now leave your father's house. That's when you will leave. You won't leave before. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So here it is almost as if there's pressure somewhere. It's not everybody, you guys. The norm is, yes, you leave your parents' house at a certain age, with the exception of a few who let you stay till maybe you're ready to go and start your own life. Our own, it is not very common to see young people living alone. Of course, you have people, for instance, where you're working is far from your parents' home. You have to get your own apartment so that it's closer, to save money and to avoid stress or to reduce stress. Do you get it? So that's different. But a situation where you can get from your house to the office, your father's house to the office or something, and it's close by or whatever, and you just feel like you want to leave, it's not enough. People do it, oh, don't get me wrong, people do it. But like I said, it's not a norm. You stay in your father's house till it's time to leave. You get till it's time to leave, nobody's going to pressure you to leave. That's just the point I'm trying to drive at. But here it's as if at 18, it's as if you're almost getting too old to stay at home. You should find your own way. I can't understand that, but yeah. So sorry for the switch in the lighting. I would say that this can be debatable, or yeah, not controversial per se, but debatable. Is the fact that over here, for the most part, people are not really responsible for people. Let me explain. You, as an individual, as a child, you are not really, really, really responsible for your siblings, responsible for your parents. Everyone is doing their own thing. In fact, you're working, your parents too are working, paying the bills, you two are paying your own bills. So it's almost as if everybody is fine. Like you don't have to be responsible for anybody if you don't want to. It's not compulsory. Back home, I wouldn't say that it is compulsory, but it's just we believe in taking care of people around us. So you see, maybe a firstborn. I know right now a lot of people are, being pressurized, and they start complaining and all of that. I know, but I'm just telling you what it is. So back home, it's as if you're responsible for everybody. So, for instance, you're the firstborn of the family. Somehow, no one needs to tell you, but you'll be responsible for your siblings, paying your siblings' school fees. They'll call you for pocket money. They'll call you for allowance. Your parents will call you to take care of them. I mean, there's blessing in it. So let's call a spade a spade. Let's say what it is. There's blessing in taking care of your parents. Let us call what it is by its name. It comes with loads of blessing. You will not see it now, but you probably see it later. So if you have the chance, you have the opportunity, your parents are still alive, take care of them. Financially, spiritually, physically. If you have to house them, house them. If you have to get maids for them, get maids for them. If you have to maybe get a carer, or if you want to put them in an old people's home where they will be well taken care of, please do that. If you need to get several maids or whatever to take care of them, please do that. But do not neglect the care of your parents. Don't try it. I'm talking to both Americans and Africans. Do not try it. I mentioned old people's home because it's very common here. It's normal. Back home is not very normal. Back home, right? We'd rather house our parents or get maids, housekeepers, nannies to take care of them. Yeah, in their own house. It depends on your dynamics. But so back home, like I said, it's like you are responsible for everybody. You're responsible for your siblings, you're responsible for your parents. It also depends on maybe if the finances are not there as much and you're like the only one earning, or you're the only one earning well. Yes, some people, if they have a lot of money in the family, everyone just takes care of themselves. But you're obligated to take care of your family, kind of back home, your siblings, your cousins, everybody. Disclaimer, it's not everybody. I'm trying to sound this out. So, in case you're not African, I want you, hey, is this how everybody is? No, it's not everybody. But this is what is generally applicable. Over here, you can earn your own money and not spend it on anybody. You can give your siblings, but you're not obligated to give them. It's not compulsory. It's not, you don't have to. But back home, it's almost as if you have to. But I mean, it's debatable. I don't know. But of course, if we're coming from the believer's perspective, you should take care of your family, give to people, show love to your family. Yeah, it might not be comfortable and all of that, but extend a hand of kindness, a hand of, mercy to your family as well. Okay, don't be stingy, don't be selfish. But you see that parents one, yeah, I'm telling you now, take care of your parents. You're American, you're African, wherever you're from, take care of your parents. You will say thejumzb told you, take care of them in every way you can. Okay, depends on your society. Like I mentioned earlier, here because of the way the society is, sometimes it's just best to keep your parents in the old people's home. But check on them. Go to them every week. Make sure you see them every week. Don't just put them there and dump them for other people to take care of. No. Make sure you go there and visit them every week. If possible, twice or thrice a week. Make sure you go and see them. You should always see, not that you put them there 6 months, you've not seen them. Don't go and visit them. 2, 3, in fact, every day if you can. But if you can't, at least twice a week, 3 times a week. Because these people took care of you. So you should also take care of them. Okay? Honor your father and your mother so that your days will be long in the land which God has given you. Honor them. It's an instruction. I think right now back home, it's starting to look like over here. I think this generation it's something else. But over here, people are quite outspoken. You people, hey, people are very outspoken. People are very expressive. There's freedom to say whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, and nobody's going to come for you. You see how back home, you say anything on the internet, before you know it, some people have come to pick you up because you said something about somebody, especially if the person is, in the public eye, is a public official, is a politician or whatever. But here, you say whatever you want to say, and nobody's going to come for you. As far as, no, I wanted to even say as far as you're respectful. Some people outright insult them, use derogatory words, and they won't come for them because it's freedom. There's freedom of speech. That also transfers to children. Children here are very outspoken. They are very expressive. They say it the way they feel it. Even though some of them don't have gauge, they say it the way they feel it. How they are seeing it, they'll say it. That is something that is beginning to come up back home, which is good. Children are getting more expressive. They're, they're not shut down, because there was a generation where you could not express yourself. What? Who born you? You couldn't say how you were feeling. Just not me, oh me. I will not come here and try to pretend like, oh, that was my situation. No, no, not entirely. So I had people like that around me who will encourage you to speak. Of course, there were one or two other people who, I mean, it's just something that has been for generations. You can't, when an adult talks to you, I'm not saying be rude though, no, but to express yourself, to say how you're feeling, huh? Don't do it. But over here, it can be interesting to see, when people are expressing themselves and then they are not scared about, oh, if I say this, it's going to hurt these people's feelings. Although there's a downside to it because sometimes you just talk, 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 talk. No emotional intelligence. You don't know when to stop. You don't know what to say, where to say, how to say. You don't read the room. Yes, there can be a problem with that because you have freedom of speech, so you just say anything anyhow. No, you should know when to draw the line, right? But some children, they know they're talking, but they are respectful. They know when to stop. They know what to say. Do you understand what I'm saying? So here, there's freedom to say what you want to say. There's freedom. I love it when I see these little children expressing themselves. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, you tell them, don't do this. Why? Why shouldn't I do it? I'm like, you will explain. But back home, is like I said, is getting better now. Children are becoming more expressive. Nobody's being beaten down like before. Oh, don't say this, don't. No, let people express themselves, but express yourself with sense. I'm sure if you know my channel, you know me, you know what I stand for. I don't stand for nonsense. So the fact that I said you should express yourself does not mean you should just talk anyhow. You should say anything and this let's not do that. That's not why we're here. I'm just saying that it's good to speak your mind, how you're feeling, say how you're feeling. You don't like something, you say it. You are hurt, you say it. Or you want something, you say it. Not that you are hurt and you keep quiet and bottle it up. Over here, everyone is just yappy, 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 yappy. Everybody's talking plenty. Anyway, yeah, so I think it's good, but sometimes I feel like it's abused because people don't know when to say what or what not to say. that kind of thing. But generally, being outspoken, being very vocal, it's not really a thing back home, but it's coming up. People these days, they are calling people out now, which is good, but yeah, it could be better. So there's freedom over here, freedom to yappy 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 yappy. Going back to my previous point, I mentioned respect. Over here, it's very common to see people calling younger children, calling older people by their names. So you see maybe a grandma is Lizzie, for instance. You see a young child saying, "Oh, hi, Lizzie," that kind of thing. Back home, if you try it, um, there's going to be a dent in the middle of your head because you go collect. You go collect, but why did I say it like that? You will collect because calling your grandma by her name. Who do you think you are? but, but, I think because of their culture over here, I think because of the way they live their life over here, they do not say it disrespectfully. Like the fact that they are calling you their auntie by your name, it doesn't mean they are disrespecting you. I think it's just what the society allows. It's just how their society is. However, we still have people, Americans, call people auntie, uncle, that kind of thing, grandma, people do it, but we also have people who call people by name. And it's not oftentimes that they're being disrespectful, it's just what is permissible here. Back home, don't try it. Why, who do you think you are? But sometimes we can go extreme because recently this is very disheartening and terrible and really disgusting. Recently in I think Ogun State, Nigeria, a woman poured rice water, boiling hot rice water. You know when you boil your rice, the water that comes from the rice. She poured it on an 11-year-old child because the child wasn't greeting her. You see what respect can cause sometimes because you feel someone needs to greet you. That's just to show you that we take respect very, very seriously back home. Some people go overboard. It's wild. It's really wild. And it's scary because I'm not greeting you. So why pour hot water on me? Why? What's the reason? Why? So yeah, we take respect very seriously back home. We refer to our aunties, uncles, put auntie before someone's name, put uncle before someone's name. You just try to show respect, just put Mr. in front or Mrs. It's still 100% respect. Mrs. this, Mr. this. You know the way we address our teachers in school? Yes, Mr. this, Mrs. this, or Miss this. Nobody calls anybody by name back home. It's very rare. When I mean rare, maybe 1 in 10 or 20 or 50 self is very rare. Even your siblings, who probably your sister or brother is just 2 or 3 years older than you, some people you're obligated to call them sister this or brother this. So we take it very seriously back home. Speaking of unpopular opinion, rice is not a main dish over here. You know how back home, hey, if you are to call top 5 most common meals back home, at least I can speak for West Africa. If you call top 5 food, rice must be there. But over here, if you call top 10 food, rice might not be there. Or maybe rice is maybe number 9 or number 10. It is wild. Of course, we have nationalities who eat rice a lot. You see rice in the stores, no problem. But you know how we buy our rice in big, big bags. But regular stores, just small, small pack of rice. I'm like, hey, this one can even feed a typical African home for 1 week. It's too small. So rice is not really it's not a big deal. It's not a favorite. Let's put it. It's not a favorite. People eat rice, so hey, don't get me wrong. But Americans For instance, let me give you a classic example. Thanksgiving dinner, right? A typical Thanksgiving dinner, you will not see rice. A typical Christmas dinner, you will not see rice. Of course, you see rice when it comes to Africans. We have to cook jollof now. Abi now, we cook fried rice. Abi, So some Asians are, why did I say some? Asians as well, and other, nationalities, they'll eat rice. But you see, Americans, typical Americans, they can cook 10 dishes and not one has rice. In fact, I think beans is even more popular than rice. There are pinto beans, there are black beans, and all of that. Just their canned beans and raw beans and all of that. Back home, rice and beans. I think rice has more priority than beans. Yes, but here beans has more priority than rice. So yeah, just so you know, keep that at the back of your mind. That's about it for today's video. If you want to see a part 2, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned a thing or two. You took something from this video. Show your parents respect. Honor them with everything you have. Honor them. The little you have, honor them with it. Take care of them. And not only because you have to, because the Bible tells you to. Bible has told you to do it, so please obey the Bible, obey the scriptures and do it, and God will bless you and honor you as well. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.